everybody, and welcome to this Friday's version of The Lounge. As you can see, I have a new bracelet on. Means we're going into the 5D very, very soon, and all you guys need to be prepared, right? So let me turn this music down because not only do we have our regular music, but we're going to have some awesome music tonight, and we have some awesome guests in store. Hi, Marianne. How you doing today? Thanks for being the one to show up bright and early at the lounge because you know lots going on tonight. Lori, how you doing? Good to see you again. I always know, Lori, you're always the one who comes on right away, but somebody beat you to it tonight. But I'm so glad you're here. Michael Ruff, I was thinking about you today. Glad to see you. And Nober, it would not be the lounge without you, girlfriend. Julia, how you doing? Mary O'Neill. Oh my goodness, you guys are all here for the lounge. Happy holidays, everyone. Is everyone having an amazing, amazing holiday? Lisa Lewis, ready to launch. She won one of these bracelets and a drive-by by me and show up in the bushes at her house. And there I am. Oh, my kid. Love you, Mommy. Hi, baby. Karen. Oh, there she is again. Karen, how you doing? Kayla. We'll be seeing you later, I believe, right? Good to see you, girlfriend. All right. Well, you guys are all very excited. We have such an amazing show for you tonight. And, you know, without further ado, got to bring on my co-host, Miss Medium Medical Intuitive. And she just says it like it is, extraordinaire, Miss Elise Sadalaro.
Hey, everybody. How are you?
How are you?
Hello.
And happy Hanukkah.
Happy
Michael
Hanukkah.
Ruff. Happy Hanukkah to all. Happy holidays to all.
It's so nice to see. Night. It's so nice to see all the regulars on every Friday night. It feels like home. It really does.
It does.
Everybody.
And you know what? They all come on in the same order.
Is that funny?
Which is interesting. Like Lori Matthews, always number one. She's always there. I expected her to be on the first time, but didn't happen today. But Lori, you know what? You were second. It's just as good. So how you doing tonight, Elise?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you? You look nice in your blue sweater.
How come we're not dressed? Well, you do have on a blue undershirt, but it's not the dark blue sweater.
It's like grayish, but I'll take it. I have my blue mug, so it's a standard. I like this mug. It holds like 3 cups of tea because I need it tonight.
But
what?
I don't know about you, but this is what I'd like to be doing tonight.
What?
Getting on the boogie bus, baby. Getting on the boogie bus. That's a little precursor to, we didn't let you guys know they were coming back this week, but they are back. They're better than ever. Let me talk to you about, did you ever hear the term hygge? Did you ever hear the term hygge? It's a Danish word for happiness. It's what people, they talk about creating hygge in the home. And I'm pronouncing it totally wrong. Okay, totally
wrong. Getting hygge with it? Is that what it is?
No, it's like bringing a sense of presence and calm and comfort and togetherness. And it's a feeling. It's not even a word that you could describe. Okay. But it's called, I think it's hygge, but I like to say hygge. It's the Danish art of happiness.
Oh, I like the book.
And children are actually taught how to produce hygge. Like, you know when like it's raining outside and like you get that feeling when you're sitting inside, not when you're out in the rain, but you're sitting inside and it's raining outside. Yeah. Or when you're around a bonfire with your friends, or when you're laughing together, like with me. Like we're creating hygge
all the time
together.
We're getting hygge with it.
We're getting hygge with it.
That's right.
So I just wanted to read a little bit out of the hygge book because I feel like a lot of people right now, we're creating hygge. How are we creating hygge? We're decorating. You have your Christmas tree. We're putting up ornaments. We're being in the present moment. It's all about being in the present moment. And a lot of times for the holidays, people get stressed. They get stressed out because if their childhood was all rocky, then normally, subconsciously, there's fights that go on around the holidays and everybody's all stressed out. But you know what? We could change that. We could change our patterns. We could change our habits. That's what we're here to talk about tonight. It's releasing and changing patterns and habits. So let me just talk about a little bit about hygge.
Okay.
Danish children are brought up with the concept, right? Danish children learn the value of being part of a community and gain trust in themselves and others in their hygge hours with mom and dad, says psychologist and author of The Danish Way of Parenting. So hygge children get brought up with hygge. Now, if you didn't get brought up with hygge, we're going to teach you about it tonight. You're going to create it in your own home. So put up those twinkly lights because that's a way to do it. What function does hygge have in Danish families? For many families, Higgy is the glue that holds the family together. It is in the Higgy that we feel each other's presence, feel connected, and it is where each individual family member sees themselves again. Today, the everyday lives of Danish children are so packed with activities that planned Higgy time is mostly for the weekends. But some manage to integrate Higgy during the week by putting small moments of it into the rhythm and routines already in place. It may be singing a song on the way home from kindergarten or telling jokes over dinner and laughing together. So just a little excerpt. We're going to create Higgy tonight. And a good way to do that is through music, through laughter, through being present, through atmosphere. And we're creating the atmosphere of the lounge. The lounge itself is Higgy, right? Elise,
Bring a zen.
I feel like you need some Higgy tonight. I feel like
It's been a long week.
it has been. I could see it in you. You're not as you're not as bright and bushy tailed tonight.
I'm trying. I'm here.
No, I know. It's not. I'm just
know.
saying we want to bring you up. We want to bring you up. You bring
I'm
so
ready.
much to the show every week. We want to just douse you in twinkle. We want to spread confetti all over your head. What do you think?
Do it.
All right. Well, let me just
Let's do it.
bring on our lovely lounge buddy for the night. Say hi. He's back again from last week because everybody loved him. Lounge buddy Dave. What's
Hi
up,
there.
lounge
Hey,
buddy Dave?
How you doing?
How are you?
Doing just fine. What can I say? I mean, I'm just glad. Glad to be here, and glad to be on the show with you guys.
Well, you guys have some stuff. So I heard last week that people went crazy over your beer soap that you were selling.
Mm-hmm.
The beer soap. It's made out of beer. I have to get a bar of that just so I can smell it because.
Okay.
So orders were like pouring in. You couldn't keep them on the shelves. It took you a week to get the orders out. You guys weren't expecting this.
I know it's fantastic.
Can I
hope
ask
people
you?
Yeah, go ahead, Elise.
Dave, what is this? What's the aroma of the soap? Like, what would you relate it to?
Well,
Like,
I'll tell you, it's what I made through whatever year I made, and what this aroma is a combination of almond and chestnut, because that's what I had where I made beer from either one batch I made almond, like an almond stout one year, and another year I made a chestnut peach tea chestnut, and so you get the aroma of it's not beer. It's not like oh, I feel like I'm a Switch or a Budweiser. I'm slathering with Budweiser. No. It's not that at all. What it is it's just the aroma. What I used like I said, chestnut and almond. What's another year that I made stout? Like one year now, I made a chocolate stout. That would be like chocolate soap. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You just are a man of many talents.
Oh, thank you.
You're a luthier plus soap maker, and you just now
I
you're a lounge buddy.
No. I have to be honest. I didn't make it. Of course, I had there's studios down the street from us called Green Cow Studios. Good friend of ours, Al. Al Gerald. He's the one that made the soap from us. So that's who we use, and just really turned out well. So wow, nobody does that. So I said, you know what? It's kind of really authentic. Why not?
Well, you guys, you have a great special for our audience today. I know it was great last week. I had my own promo code with my name on it. I don't think I've ever had a Christmas promo code named after me. That was just amazing. Yeah. So, we will be back with April and Dave and April, May, and the June Bugs. They're going to be doing a song very soon. But before we go to April and Dave for their first holiday tune of the night, I'll bring you guys right back in a second. Elise.
yes, dear.
Do you know how excited I am to bring on this special guest that is coming on tonight? Do you know how excited I am? I know you're very excited.
I'm excited. I'm like so ready for this.
Can I tell you? And before she comes on, I just want people to focus right now on Marisa. Focus, which it's hard not to do because I keep myself right up.
That way.
So before she comes on, I'm interviewing her and telling her, I want you guys to listen to this story because it is the truth. Okay?
Okay.
Elise, you've known me for 17 years.
Long time.
You've seen me through many different romantic relationships.
Oh my God, yeah.
You've done several readings, sometimes 5 in a night. If I wasn't happy with what you said the first time, I made you
Let
do
me
it
just
again and
interject
again.
real quick, guys. She will critique what I'm saying and tell me I'm wrong. Look at it again.
No!
Meanwhile, yeah, you've done
Do
it
I
before.
still do that, or is that in the beginning? I don't think I do that
That was in the
anymore.
beginning because I don't know if you were just wanting to see how much further I could dig, or you just weren't happy with what I was telling you. At
And
one
we all want to
point.
hear what we want to hear, you know?
Pretty much, yeah. So, but anyway, yeah. But I've read you many times in an evening, definitely.
But I've gotten better with keeping quiet during readings, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
I
so.
got it.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay. So, but you've seen how much I've struggled with the patterns with my relationships,
Absolutely.
with my
Yep.
anxiety, with if people did certain things in these relationships, I was like not able to really calm myself down. I kind of needed your help to help me do that with the readings, and normally that didn't last too long. But you've seen me go through the same things.
And here's
For
the
a long
thing,
time.
I was empathetic with Marissa because I went through the same cycle with relationships. The same thing. And I think I got to the point where I knew I was not making it any better for myself. Don't ask me how I got out of that cycle, but I did.
Right. Yeah.
But
and
I could relate to Marissa, and but she definitely, there were many dark years for you.
many dark years.
Many.
But then, after the darkest of the dark year, which you know, the dark night of the
Oh,
dark.
thank
the,
God
when,
that's
you know
done.
when you know when the dark
Oh.
night arrived.
Hello.
The dark
and-
night arrived.
The
Drops
door
a
hit him
couple
on the
things
way
off.
out. Let me tell you,
door, yeah.
kids. Yeah. Okay.
But you know that once the dark night exited, the dark night of my soul continued to be dark.
Exactly.
Right. So what happened after a lot of these situations, and of course my childhood and everything else, is that there's energy trapped in my body, which I didn't realize that it was trapped in my body, which was why I was playing out these cycles, and why when what they call triggers, certain things would happen that these men would do in the relationships, or any form of abandonment or distancing or anything like that, where it would cause my anxiety to spike. I tended to just ruminate, or I couldn't calm down, and there were things that would happen in my body. My heart would be racing. I couldn't seem to like normalize my emotions. And then when I got into a normal relationship, it's almost like that safety net was there, where I knew that person wouldn't do the same things that happened in these other relationships. So I thought, oh, I was scot-free now because I made the right choice,
Right.
where this person wouldn't do the things that happened in the past. However, now my body was starting to really trigger, because that meant getting close to somebody. That meant having an intimate relationship with somebody who was available to me, which I wasn't used to.
Right.
And so then, now that I didn't have all those other anxieties, like, oh, is he going to call? Is he going to show up? Is he somewhere out drinking or using drugs? Or is he with somebody else? Like, all these things I don't have to worry about anymore. Now my body just started triggering and triggering and triggering, and the anxiety was getting worse. And I'm thinking, wait, I thought the answer was you just had to find the right person and make the right choice, and then everything's easy. But no, it got worse,
Right.
to the point where I actually got a diagnosis, which I didn't know I had, of complex PTSD. It's not, PTSD is a little bit different. It's one event. Complex trauma is multiple events. And then I'm like becoming aware of it, going through all these therapies, and these people are bringing me down this rabbit hole to my core wound, and then like dropping me off there. I didn't know how to get out of the woods. So I was left with all this stuff triggering, going crazy. My partner was just like, what do? We can't get you out of this now that it's happening. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. It was just like all night long. And it was scary. I couldn't stop these. I knew I was fine physically. I wasn't anxious in my mind anymore, but
Right.
my body was just reacting, and I would try taking a bath. I would try eating. I would try, calling a friend. I would try nothing worked. And imagine how powerless and helpless you feel when this stuff is going on for hours, and you can't get your heart rate down. Something's going on in your solar plexus. You have adrenaline rushing through your body and you don't know why. And you can't stop it by thinking about stopping it. So here I am with all these therapists and they're like, oh, you just have to think differently. And that actually made it worse. So then I stumbled upon somatic experiencing, which was like actually healing the nervous system and the symptoms of the body and not actually dealing with thinking about anything or processing it, which a lot of therapy wants you to do. Cognitive behavioral therapy, that kind of thing. And I couldn't find anybody who did it, especially on the East Coast. But I'm like, I know this is the answer, is dealing with the symptoms of the body and not so much processing in the mind, right? So I'm with these people. They're saying they know somewhat of it. They're saying they know how to treat this issue. And then I'm getting worse and worse and worse and worse, where they're like, you just need to go away. I'm like, I can't go away. What do you mean I'm going to go away? So I'm sitting up one night. It's 4 a.m, and this is not that long ago, right? And you guys all think like, oh, Marissa's just happy-go-lucky. No, I have been struggling, right? I go on YouTube at 3 o'clock in the morning and look up, polyvagal is the term for actually, working on the vagus nerve, which the vagus nerve kind of regulates your breathing and your heart rate. And there's many different stages of the nervous system, and it's called like resetting that nerve. So I really had done so much reading on this process and really believed in it as far as a theory. So I thought I would just read the books. I'd understand it. I'd be able to apply it. That didn't work. So then I'm just feeling like at my lowest. And this is when I was talking about all this energies changing and transitioning. 3 o'clock in the morning, I Google on YouTube, polyvagal exercises to release energy and trauma from the body. And this woman comes up and it says, exercise to release trauma from the body. Now remember, I spent 6 years trying to do this. 6 years. Many sleepless nights. Suffering. Couldn't do it. She's like, oh, it's a 3-minute video. You turn your head to one side and the other side, you lay on your back, you look to the right for 30 seconds, left for 30 seconds, you're done. And I'm like, all right, I'll try it. I'm desperate. Within 30 seconds, I was normal.
That's crazy.
30 seconds. I was like, at first I was like, this is a miracle. Is this real? I don't believe it. Second feeling I got was enraged, angry, and completely furious that I just went through 6 years of sometimes 2 therapy sessions a week where nobody could tell me to sit down for 30 seconds and look to the right and the left.
I was just thinking all that money you spent on therapy.
Well, I had insurance. So
it's still money out of your pocket. Listen,
investment.
money's money. Money is money, right? But
Michael's asking me, who was this? Honey, why do you think I'm telling this story? Because she's coming on the show right now.
She's on the show, Michael.
Yeah. You guys, you think I'd be telling this story and like not have her on the show? I had to give her a call and say, lady, who are you? And are you a magic gremlin? Are you from an alien spaceship? And how did you find this information? And why don't people who do therapy for 30 years know about it?
So in less than a minute, you were able to calm everything that was happening in your body after 6 years of doing it. That's craziness.
And
it's so interesting to me.
This led me, I was praying for a miracle because I know I come on here and you guys all think I got it all together, but I made a deal with the universe last year. I said, no matter what, because I couldn't help my clients anymore. I couldn't help them to move through their own cycles because I didn't know how to get out of mine. I could only tell them what they were going to do. I say, if you keep cycling, this is what's going to happen. But I don't know how to tell you to get out of it. So then in that 30 seconds of time, it's like people tell you when you die, you go up to God and you have all these questions about the universe. And within a second, they're all answered, right? In that second, everything made sense. Every question I had in my life, from my childhood, the dysfunction, every single person around me who I was triggered by, they all had nervous system states that I wasn't regulating with. So now I was able to pinpoint all the different states that everybody was in. There's 3 different ones. She's going to explain it to you.
Okay, great.
But I was like, I got to call this lady because I'm sitting here and I had my eyes to the right, and all of a sudden this wave of just calmness, and it took it away. And I was like, this isn't real. So I tried it a couple other times. I'm like, wait, this really does work. But you have to work with somebody. Like, I am finally connected to somebody who's actually educating me and taking me through the process of mapping my nervous system. It's not therapy. It's just sitting down with somebody who knows this polyvagal theory and somatic experiencing, the energy of the body and regulating your nervous system. And you know how much shame that like actually helped me to release that night? Like shame that I couldn't fix this. Yeah. Shame that this was going on. Shame that I couldn't control myself when I was feeling this way and I couldn't calm down.
Right.
You know? So I have to, oh my God.
Let's
so
bring
here,
her on. I'm ready.
She said, oh my God, perfect. I have PTSD and EMDR for my trauma. So excited to hear more. Look, I know Chrissy. I've known Chrissy since I was 15 years old. We played cops and robbers together. And her brother was my first boyfriend. Not like real boyfriend. I mean, we were like 12. He like, you know, we called each other boyfriend and girlfriend. Like cops and robbers.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I know
Chrissy. But I didn't know she had PTSD. Well, welcome to the club, honey. Welcome to the club. We all do in some form or another. Wow. So I cannot wait to bring her on. But first, because we just talked about such heavy stuff, I want to heighten the energy. All right. I want to heighten this energy. Let's bring on April May and the June Bugs. Have them do a song for us. And then we're getting right to Suki Baxter. And she is going to delve into this because I just went on the whole history. She's going to delve into it. She's got so much exciting stuff to say.
This is exciting.
April May and the Catfish.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
How you guys doing? You guys ready?
We're ready.
Yes, we're ready.
All right, let's just get this energy high in this place. You know what I'm saying? Let's heighten it up. Let me turn this off. Let me mute this stuff. Okay. Just go. Do your thing.
All right. So what I have for you right now is this is a swing from 1936. So you know me, I like to dig deep. So we're going to do this for you right now. This was an orchestral swing. Everybody was swing dancing to it back in the day. So here we go.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, what would Santa Claus say if he finds everybody swinging? What would Santa Claus say when he hears them singing? Down the chimney he will come with his great big smile, and you'll find that even the kids are swinging to the latest style. What is Santa bringing? I wonder whether he'll be swinging everywhere in the land. All the people will be singing, la-di-da-di-da. What is Santa Claus gonna say when he finds everybody Good Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was great.
You guys are awesome. Love
Thank
you
you
guys.
so much.
I am so excited because you guys have another little bundle for everybody today for your
A
beer
bundle
soap.
of love.
So let's talk about this. Why don't you guys tell everybody what you have going on this week for the little special?
Okay, well, we have a special. If you go to our website, you can download a free Christmas song that you Santa Claus. And then we put together a special bundle for holiday season that if you want to indulge yourself with music and some beer soap, or if you want to indulge friends and share music, this bundle is 5 autographed CDs. And
Woo!
you pick if you want us to autograph them to a friend or if you want them all autographed to you. And it also comes with a pair of beer soap, which Catfish Dave was talking about. It smells like delicious almond chestnut. It's really beautiful, beautiful, lovely soap.
You keep it clean.
So it's
Yeah,
called the
and
Clean Up bundle.
it is on sale. It's normally $69.
Yeah.
And you're getting free shipping and you're getting it for $45. So like it's a deal you just don't want to miss. I mean, it's really, I think you should probably sell it for like $79, but you have it for $45. You know what I mean? So you guys should buy it. Absolutely. You get 5 autographed CDs from them.
Yes.
And you just go to aprilmay.com and download your Christmas CD or Christmas.
And
I'm sorry.
we're going to autograph
Christmas
them
song.
and mail them too. So when they order it in the notes, they could put if they want us to personalize it to someone as a gift, or if you want us to personalize all 5 CDs to you, it's totally up to you.
That's awesome. Well, thanks guys, and we'll be seeing you on the next break because you're gonna be doing another little song for us, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. April, May, and the June bugs. We'll be seeing you soon.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys.
Thank you.
All right, Elise.
Yes.
I'm just gonna read a little bit about Suki, this woman who I found who saved my life in 30 seconds here. Saved my mind from going crazy.
I think
I'm
that's
still
awesome.
crazy, but whatever. So I want to just tell you guys all about Suki. So Suki Baxter is a nervous system expert and neuroplasticity nerd. I have to find out exactly what that means. Who helps you to rewire yourself for greater health, happiness, and success. And unlike most methods for changing limiting stories and negative beliefs, which focus primarily on changing conscious thoughts, her work uses embodiment, like from the body practices, so that you not only think differently, you are different. These changes are deep, biological, highly effective at relieving the stress and anxiety that form the emotional roots of pain. And Suki has traveled the world to study with masters in mindful movement, integrative body work, trauma healing, strength and conditioning, shamanism, and energy medicine. Blending elements from her studies, she has developed her signature nerve method, which she's going to talk about tonight. I don't know if that's part of what I found, to heal stress and anxiety at the nervous system level so that you can experience greater presence or higgy, joy, connection, and aliveness in your life. And isn't that what we all want this Christmas season? We're going to be focusing on the topic today, how to expand consciousness, because we're going into the 5D in January, by releasing blocked emotions and trauma stored in the body. Because if you're going to be manifesting with Marisa, my 30-day manifestation program is coming out soon. I know how to manifest, didn't know how to release trauma. So you just take what Suki does, her nerve program, you go manifesting with Marisa, my manifestation program, you're going to be launching out into outer space in no time. So you may have tried to release old stories, limiting beliefs and negative emotions in the past, like I did, stored in your body, only to find that they persist or come up again and again and again and again in your healing journey, no matter what you do. And I'm a working and living example of that. What you may not realize, however, is that these blocked emotions and traumas are stored deeply in your nervous system and need to be addressed at the cellular biological level in order to be fully and completely healed. All right, Elise, I'm going to bring you back on in a second, but I'm going to bring up Suki, and we will see you soon, Elise. Suki!
Hello.
You're who everybody wants to see. They didn't realize that, like, this mysterious person I was talking about that I found on YouTube was actually coming on tonight. So that's great.
Well, I'm really excited to be here, and I just love the energy that everyone has.
Yeah, well, Ann Nober, she's one of our regulars. She says, I'm excited for this. I will definitely be listening and learning. People are so excited. Too. And we have a lot of people that do suffer that are regulars, see PTSD, trauma, cycling. We're going to have a guest that came on last week. We tried to help her with our intuitive work, but she's just a little stuck, so we're going to bring her on in a little bit. But you also work with horses, which I find extremely fascinating from our talk. Can you tell us like how animals actually responded to the work that you're, using in your nerve program as well?
Yeah, so I mean, it's slightly different with people than with horses because we can talk to people, and horses we can talk to, but only not verbally, not the way you can with a person. But horses have really been my greatest teachers when it comes to nervous system work. And the reason for that is that I've always been involved with horses, always loved them from the time, like, I can't remember not loving horses. And I grew up riding. But about 4 years ago, I decided to do something really crazy, and I adopted a wild horse. So I don't know, a lot of people don't know that we have wild horses in the United States, and that the government, in order to control the population, they round them up and then they adopt them out to people. And I had always been really interested in this, and I just decided I was going to do it. So this is the danger of shopping online. I went online and I bid on a wild horse, and I won the auction. And I wound up having this horse literally delivered to my door, sight unseen. I'd never met him. And he became my greatest teacher because he is incredibly sensitive in his nervous system. Horses are a prey animal. And so when they're out in the wild, they have to be very aware of their environment, because if there's a threat in their environment, they need to respond quickly, because their greatest defense is to run away. They can fight, but they're much faster and more well-equipped to run away. So I got this horse, and I discovered at the same time that I was working with this horse and doing what we call gentling, which is introducing them into domestic life, basically. At that same time, I was really deep diving into trauma and nervous system studies. I'd been doing it for over 10 years at the time anyway, but I was really at a place where I was looking at somatic experiencing, Peter Levine's work, and really deepening my studies around that. And I came to the realization that the things that I was doing with my horse, which is introducing small bits of activation below his threshold, so not so much that he would get scared and run away, but just enough to kind of elevate his system a little bit and then allow his system to discharge that stress, that process was exactly the same process that we use in the somatic process of healing stored stress and trauma in the nervous system. And I just really started to observe that I didn't know what happened to this horse. I didn't know his story. I didn't know if he'd experienced a traumatic event in his life, if he'd been attacked by a cougar, if something had happened to him, if he'd watched maybe a friend or a family member. It's funny to think of, but they really do have a highly structured social life. So I don't know if there'd been, some sort of traumatic injury to him. I have no way of knowing that. But I was able to work with the symptoms of traumatic stress in his body and in his nervous system without ever having a conversation. Because I couldn't explain to him. I couldn't just sit down and be like, look, you're safe now. The food's going to keep coming. You don't have to worry about famine. There's no cougars here. There's a fence. Like, nothing's going to attack you. You can just like hang it up and sit on the couch and watch Netflix for the rest of your life. I couldn't have that rational conversation with him, but I was still able to observe that in doing this work, this horse that was scared of everything. Funny story, I once put a white ointment on his legs, and he was scared of the color white, and he had a little rash, and I put this ointment over it, and he was fine with me putting the ointment on, but when he turned and he looked and he saw the white on his legs, he started running away from his own legs, which is pretty funny. He's just super, super sensitive. So I watched this horse that would run away from his own legs because they had white ointment on them go from like being reactive to everything, being constantly triggered, to being friendly and more social and voluntarily going up to strangers, strange people, and being curious about new objects instead of being automatically afraid of any new colors or shapes or things in his environment. Which is exactly what we're trying to do with people, right? We don't want to be triggered. We don't want every single thing we come into contact with to be sending us into a state of self-preservation and survival, because most stuff that we come into contact with isn't actually dangerous, especially in this modern world, but we perceive it as dangerous, and that's what creates these anxiety states in our system. That was a long-winded answer.
Yeah, no, thank you. That's really, really fascinating. And it seems like I know that I didn't know for like the last 15 years that this was actually going on. I just thought that this is what I felt until I started to become an observer to it. I don't think a lot of people even know that this is something that they're not, like that this is actually their nervous system. And if they're able to go into a different state, like they would be more social, they would be more present, they would be more happy. Most people think that they have to make more money to be more happy or find the right relationship or get the right house or get stress out of their lives. And really, this is a nervous system issue. So, can you, I guess, simply kind of dumb it down because we're all in kindergarten here? Like, explain to our audience, like, what polyvagal theory is, like, just simply, and why we need it in our lives, why we need to regulate our nervous systems.
Yeah, well, exactly what you just said, right? So jumping off from that, we think that we need to do these outside things in order to make ourselves feel safe. Polyvagal theory is really about safety and whether or not we feel safe. And I'm not talking about if you think you're safe in your head, because you can think you're safe and you can look around you and notice that you have enough money and enough food and shelter and you're warm and clothed and all of those things. And you can be like, nah, things are good, but you're biologically not feeling safe, right? There's another element to safety. And so if you're in that state of not feeling safe, then everything around you actually looks threatening. And so no matter how much money you make or how good your relationship is or how good things are, you will still perceive a dangerous world around you. And this is why, I've talked to a lot of my friends who have really great lives, or people I've met who are very successful will say, I just deal with this constant state of unease and I don't know why that is. And like they try to figure it out from their thoughts and they're like, well, there's no reason for this. I can't put a pin on why I don't feel safe or why I have this uneasiness. So the reason that that's true, the reason that the world looks really threatening when we're in these dysregulated states has to do with different branches of your nervous system that become activated. So there's basically 3 states in polyvagal theory, and polyvagal theory was developed by someone by the name of Stephen Porges. And before he came up with this theory, we thought about stress as being this very binary. It was like you're stressed or you're not stressed. It's on or off, like a light switch. But Stephen Porges discovered that there's actually a more nuanced approach to stress. We have these different branches of what's called the vagus nerve, which is a very long nerve. So vagus, V-A-G-U-S, not Vegas like Las Vegas. It comes from the Latin word for wandering. And the reason that this nerve was named that is because it's a cranial nerve. So it starts way up here, but it wanders all the way down to your viscera, to your gut. And what Stephen Porges discovered was that you have what's called the dorsal vagus. Dorsal means back. So you have a vagus in the back and you have a vagus in the front called ventral vagus. And different branches of that vagus nerve can be activated depending on what kind of stress you're feeling. In addition to your vagus nerve, you have another branch of your nervous system called your sympathetic nervous system. And this is probably the one most people are familiar with because it's your fight or flight nervous system. So this is what stress used to be considered, was the fight or flight response, the agitation that you feel when something goes wrong, when you're feeling anxious, for example. But there's a whole other way that we deal with stress. So first you can go into fight or flight, right? So something comes up, there's, in more primitive terms, you could say there's a tiger in the woods and it's stalking you and you go, oh my gosh, scary tiger in the woods, I'm going to run for my life. That's your sympathetic nervous system. It mobilizes you, it gets you moving, it gets you up and acting to preserve your life. You escape from the tiger, your nervous system calms down and you go back into what's called parasympathetic. Parasympathetic is your rest and digest branch of your nervous system. So usually this was thought of as like the off state for stress. But from polyvagal theory, what we know is that there's a whole other way that your parasympathetic nervous system is active, and that's called shutdown. So when you have stress that goes on for a long period of time. So cumulative traumas or slow traumas or not getting your needs met. And that can be in a more overt, like literally not having enough food, enough shelter, enough care, or it can be emotional needs, right? Like we're not actually getting the kind of human connection and the kind of regulation that we need from the people, our caregivers, our community, the people around us. When that sort of dysregulation happens and we are activated for a long period of time, you can move into what's called parasympathetic shutdown or dorsal vagal shutdown. And this is like the emergency brake on your nervous system. So when you're in sympathetic activation, a lot of things happen. Your heart rate speeds up, your blood starts pumping more, like you're go, 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 go. It's like drinking, 10 cups of coffee all the time. Your body cannot sustain that for a long period of time. So as an act of self-preservation, it can activate this dorsal vagal system to put like an emergency brake on that and hold your stress down. But what that looks like in practice is it doesn't turn off that fight or flight. It doesn't take your foot off the gas pedal. It's like driving with your foot on the gas pedal and the brake pedal at the same time. So you kind of have both going. And so this can look and feel like this just underlying agitation that just happens chronically and you don't know what's going on. And a lot of times people are functioning with this. So sometimes they're not, but a lot of times people function really well and they're able to get through their life and do all the things. They're going through the motions, but something's not right. Maybe nothing's wrong, but something's not right. And usually it has to do with like not really feeling connected, not really feeling joyful, not really being present in relationships with friends and loved ones, children, and not really being engaged and never really feeling fully satisfied by anything in life, which is that sort of agitation that successful people will find that they achieve these goals and then they don't get that satisfaction they're looking for. And then you're like, okay, well, maybe if I push it further, maybe I just need to work harder. Maybe I need to achieve the next goal, which can eventually lead to burnout.
Yeah. And like, I think when you were talking about feeling safe, I don't want people like to think like, oh, well, yeah, I feel safe. I know somebody's not going to come after me, or I know like my family's not going to hurt me. It's also what you were talking about, feeling safe within getting your needs met and knowing that people will be there to nurture you should you feel down. And I think an example of the sympathetic nervous system that I think everyone who has anxiety might experience this. You had brought this up as an example on one of your Instagram posts, and it just said, the quote said, I should be being more productive. I should be more productive. And I'm like, this is something that I think every day. I thought this was just something I thought. So you're sitting there and you really need that nurturing. You really need to relax. You need to like take a bath or read a book, but you're sitting there and you're thinking, oh, I really should be more productive. I got to get up. I can't. And that's also an example of your sympathetic nervous system activation, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's in chronic activation. So even when you do try to take that rest, then there's no letting down. Your nervous system actually loses the ability to do what's called pendulation. And that is a word that comes from Dr. Peter Levine and his work, Somatic Experiencing. And he talks about, pendulation, which comes from like a pendulum swing. So it's totally normal to get activated. You're supposed to get activated. If you never got into your sympathetic nervous system, you would die because you'd be hungry and you wouldn't even be motivated to go get food. Like, it's just part of what keeps us alive. It's part of what, gets us moving and gets us excited. And one thing I didn't mention about polyvagal theory is the ventral vagal state, which is this state of social engagement when you're actually, when you're actually in your parasympathetic, but you're also present and connected. And that's where you have that rest and relax combined with safety. Right. So you're supposed to be getting into your sympathetic and getting activated and taking care of whatever that threat is. It could just be the phone ringing and you pick it up and you answer the phone and then you put the phone down. Right. It's like a little tiny wave of nervous system activation. They happen all the time. But we also have to shut off. And some of us never learned how to shut off. And this is for two reasons. One, a lot of us grew up with people who have their own traumas, they had their own dysregulation, or they didn't have this modeled for them by their parents. I mean, we have many generations of trauma that have been passed down to people, and our caregivers may or may not have had the tools that they needed to regulate their nervous system. So we didn't learn it from them. So we didn't ever develop that skill. And we live in a culture that really urges us to be in activation all the time, particularly in the United States. I know that most Western cultures are like this, but the US is kind of above and beyond. I have lived overseas a little bit, and the US, like, you know, we don't take coffee breaks. We don't take actual food breaks. Like, we even feel like we have to work when we're eating. We just have this drive for productivity that keeps going on and on and on. And so we lose that ability, we lose that skill of dropping into that rest and relax state. And then we just kind of get stuck in agitation all the time. And it drives us. It's like we always have a tiger nipping at our heels.
Wow. Well, I think everybody that's here tonight is just like, wow, like this is an answer to how I've been feeling. I didn't even know that I needed this. Didn't even know. Because I think people think of, oh, well, if I'm an extreme, like if having a panic attack or deep depression, those are the extremes I have to worry about. And it's like really that day-to-day activation. Or I know for me, there were certain triggers that were not parallel to the situation. Like, especially if you get a text of somebody that like something triggers you, an emotional text, and instead of being able to just put the phone down and walk away, you're like worried about it for hours, or you're like getting ready to text back. You know what I mean? It's kind of like these triggers are, you need to learn how to self-soothe, and I didn't have that capability. So I'm really excited. I'm going to get to a music break real quick, and then we come back. I know you're going to be giving us some tips, some solutions, and I'm going to be bringing on Kayla from last week. She had come on to talk about her relationship. We did a reading with her. We had 3 mediums on last week, and we were trying to help her. She's in this constant cycle in her relationship, and it seems like a lot of these states are activated within intimate relationships. It seems, for me anyway, that's where they're activated for me. But we wanted to give her some tips, and we really didn't know what to tell her about how to discharge that energy and kind of break that cycle. So we brought her back so that maybe our listeners could be able to take away some practical help. So by using an example. So we're going to get to a song. So Suki, I hope you're having fun here on the lounge. Everybody's so happy to be here. So we're going to go back to April and Dave, Catfish, and April, May, and the June Bugs, and get a little song, get our energy up, and come back and talk more to Suki and bring Kayla on. So we'll be back. All right. I have to figure out how to get my banner off here. All right. Hi, guys.
Hello.
All right. So we're going to get everybody on the stream here that was already on to listen to the music. All right, guys. What song are you playing now?
So we're going to feature Catfish Dave on this next one. And when we were touring a lot, one of our pit stops was down in Memphis. We would stay in the boogie bus at the Graceland RV Park. We recorded an album at Sun Studios, so it's near and dear to our heart, the rockabilly, Elvis Presley, early rock and roll culture. So these are the official glasses that we got down at Graceland, and that's all I'm going to say.
Awesome. Well, we can't wait. Yeah, let's kick it off.
Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. Well, it's Christmas time, pretty baby, and snow is falling on the ground. Well, it's Christmas time, pretty baby, and snow is on the ground. Well, you real good little girl now. The Santa Claus come town. Got no sleigh with reindeer, no shack on my back. Gonna be coming in the big Cadillac. Oh, Christmas time, pretty baby, and the snow is falling on the ground. Well, you've been a real good little girl, but Santa Claus is coming down. Hang up your pretty stockings, turn off the light. Santa Claus is coming down the you're feeling real pretty, baby, Santa Claus is coming town. Rock it out, April May. Hang up your pretty stockings, turn off the light. Santa Claus is coming down your chimney tonight. Well, it's Christmas, my pretty baby, and the snow is falling on the ground. Well, you've been pretty good, baby. Santa Claus coming to town. Well, you've been pretty good, baby. Santa Claus is coming to town. Christmas, Christmas, Christmas.
Wow. I love the vibe.
Thank
Good job, Dave.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we haven't had you featured since this is the first feature we've seen.
Well, you know, I don't know, man. Thank you.
He's channeling his inner Elvis.
Wow. I don't even know what to say. But everybody's
I
loving
love it. Love it.
All right, so if you guys want to get a nice little autographed CD, 5 of them plus two. I was gonna say 2 cans of beer soap.
Beer,
But that's not.
or 2
barrels,
bars of beer.
Two
You read that last
barrels,
2 bars
bars
of beer. There
2
you
bars
go.
of beer. So $45.
16-ounce cans of beer.
Free shipping. Regularly $69. Go to aprilmay.com. There's so much to do. There's so much to see. They got lots of merch. They got their albums. Check it out. Thanks,
Even have the
guys.
one we recorded at Sun Studios. That's one of the ones in the bundle. And our Halloween one, of course.
Yeah, I love the Halloween one. That's one of my favorites. Are you guys doing another song tonight, or is that the? Are you doing only doing 2?
We have one more in our pocket.
All right, so we'll bring you guys out at the end.
Thank you.
And buy the soap, man. Sherry says, great music and really interesting show tonight. People are loving it. Look, we got little beer icons there.
Oh, Lisa.
Amy Nober.
That's cute.
Everybody's saying sounded awesome. Great job, guys. We'll be
Scrub it
back
up,
real
Dub.
soon
Thank you.
with you guys. So thank you. See you soon. All right. Hi, Elise. Welcome
Hey,
back.
I'm back.
So
Interesting, this whole topic.
I know. I want
It
to
just makes so much sense. It really does.
I want to just show Suki what some people are saying here before we bring on Kayla.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Ann Nober. Yes, these feelings are hard and heavy on the body. Can't pinpoint it, how to slow it down and shut it off. I really appreciate this, Susie, but Suki, she corrected herself there. Was just reading about how parents can't teach children how to calm down if they can't calm themselves. I've been thinking about that a lot. So that's good.
That's true.
Chrissy, didn't even know this existed. I'm glued. Debbie, this is incredible. I'm thinking I'm not crazy. Yeah, exactly. That's how I felt too.
Mm-hmm.
So, you're a very popular girl here tonight, Suki. So before we bring on Kayla, or do you want to bring on Kayla, talk about her situation, then kind of go into your practical tips? What are you thinking?
Sure, we could do that. Or if you have something you wanted to say first, I'm flexible. You can
All
go
right,
either way.
let's just say hi to Kayla.
All right.
Hi, Kayla. How are you,
Hey,
girlfriend?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Did you how did you do after all of 3 mediums read you last week? Did you take it? Did anything change? Did anything help or not? I mean, where are you at now from last week? Because before you were like, I don't know if I need to stay in my relationship, leave my relationship. We all saw that you were having trouble, you know. Where you at?
Honestly, I was so overwhelmed after that, and I cried a lot. And
Oh,
everything that you guys
Sorry.
said, it like really, I don't know, it like really hit me hard. And I could relate to everything you guys said, but I feel like I'm in a better place, and I don't know. We're trying. We really have been in therapy for a while, so. But everything that you guys were talking about tonight, like that one comment, maybe I'm not crazy. I've been in therapy for years, and I I was diagnosed with PTSD, anxiety, and bipolar disorder. So maybe I'm not crazy. I've
Yeah. So,
I've been through a lot
what
of
would you say
trauma.
is your? Oh, I'm sorry, honey. What would you say is your toughest challenge right now? Is to kind of like where you're feeling the most stuck at the moment.
I'm most stuck. Honestly, it's getting through. It's like getting over my past. Like it's hard for me to let go of past. Like my dad killed himself, and I blame myself a lot for that. And I it's really hard for me to let go of pain, I guess. And like I was brought up in a really bad situation, and I saw a lot of bad things, and I blame myself a lot. So it's hard for me to not blame myself. I guess I'm most stuck in feeling better about myself, not blaming myself. I don't know how to word it, really.
And do you think you're mostly in your head, always kind of
My
your
head
thoughts
is
are
always
racing?
going.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
head's all.
So it's hard for you to be present. It's hard for you to enjoy the moment. It's hard for you to feel comfort and just
Yeah,
at peace in your soul. Yeah.
yeah.
All
I'm
right.
not even
Well, I'm going
like
to turn this
comfortable.
over.
Yeah,
Well, I know you're having trouble where to decide whether to stay or whether to go in your relationship. And I firmly believe from my own experience, and I also had a similar situation to you. I had my dad also committed suicide, so I understand kind of the pain that is. That's tough. It's very tough. So I get it. But I could tell you that once I started to regulate my own nervous system and started to experience, like Suki was talking about, those ventral states of peace and contentment, even if they were small and fleeting, it started to like, I was able to like regulate everything. Like everything started to shift around me. So I don't think I could make those decisions that I was trying to make from that anxious state. I had to really become regulated and centered to be able to like really see things with clarity. And so that's why I thought you coming on today might help you with some of those tools, because I think it's too hard to like make a decision before you know like where you even stand.
yeah.
Yeah. So Suki, work
Yeah.
your magic.
Hey, Kayla. It's nice to meet you.
Hi. Nice to
I
meet
wasn't
you.
here. I wasn't here last week, so I didn't hear your story, but that's okay. So I'm just gonna ask you some questions. Where are you right now?
In my sister's room.
Okay. Do you need your glasses to see? Like, do you get dizzy or anything without them?
No.
No. Okay. Would it be okay to take them off?
Mhm.
Okay. So I'd like to invite you, if it's okay, to just allow yourself to start to look around the room a little bit with your eyes. And just let your eyes kind of slowly move and let them land on anything that draws your attention. Doesn't matter what it is. If there's colors or shapes that are attractive. Just let them just slowly drift and take in anything that's drawing your attention.
Okay.
What are you noticing?
There's a picture of a clock on the wall.
What is it that has your attention? Is it the shape? Is it the colors?
It's in black and white. I think it's a painting. It's like an old clock. It's like a grandfather clock. It's in Roman numerals. Has a bunch of details.
Yeah. Okay. What else in the room has your attention?
There's a picture of the Eiffel Tower. It's also in black and white. It's like in the far distance. It's not a close-up picture. It looks like it was taken from the ground looking up.
What is it about the picture that you like?
I like the angle of it, and that it looks like it was taken either in the very early morning or right when the sun's going down.
Yeah. Are you a morning person?
Sometimes. Depends if I get enough sleep.
Yeah. More of a morning or an evening person if you had to choose?
Evening person, I would say.
Yeah, me too. Okay. I'm going to have you shift your focus a little bit and just pay attention to the weight of your body on whatever it is you're sitting on.
Okay.
Just notice, maybe notice if you have more weight on the right side of your hips or the left side.
I have more weight on the left side.
On the left side. Maybe just explore kind of shifting back and forth the right side to the left side a little bit, seeing if you can broaden that contact. And if you have your feet on the floor, or if your feet are touching a surface, or for anyone who's listening in, you can kind of maybe move your feet a little bit, feeling the floor underneath them as you're doing this. Just paying attention to the places where your body is being supported and being contacted by your environment, by the chair you're sitting in, or if you're sitting on a bed. Paying attention to if the surface that you're on is firm or soft. How are you feeling right now, Kayla?
Relaxed.
Yeah. How do you know that you're relaxed? What is it that gives you that information?
My breathing.
Yeah, I noticed some changes there. What had your attention? What did you notice shift?
I'm not as tense anymore. Like when I'm anxious, my body tenses up. I can feel it in my shoulders and my neck. And I like move my hands a lot, and I breathe really. Like I hold my breath. I don't really breathe, but right now I'm breathing normally.
Yeah. Yeah, and I noticed that your expression is softer as well. Looks like your eyes are softer and more relaxed. You feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't, like I said, I wasn't here last week, so I just know the little bit of the story that you shared. But I'm curious, from this more relaxed state, how are you feeling right now about your, your emotional turbulence, the things that you were expressing earlier?
I don't know, still overwhelmed about them. Like thinking about them, it's just overwhelming to think about.
Where do you feel that overwhelm?
Where do I feel it? Or
Like if you
how
had,
do I feel it?
yeah, if you had to put it somewhere in your body, where would it be located?
Probably my chest.
What is it that you notice there?
Tense.
Yeah.
Or pressure.
Yeah. And I almost feel like your breathing just got a little tighter. Is that what you feel too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would it be okay to sit and just put your awareness on that tension, that pressure in your chest for a minute, or is it too much?
Like lay down?
No, just to stay here with it, but just to center your attention, just the way you were centering your attention on the environment outside of you. Would it be okay to put your attention on that pressure that you're feeling when you think of that overwhelm?
Yeah.
If it's too much, that's okay too.
Yeah, I can try.
Okay. So I'll just invite you to keep your awareness there. And as you're keeping your awareness there, just notice if it starts to shift. Maybe it gets bigger or smaller, lighter, heavier. You might feel that it gets warmer or maybe even colder, or you might feel something completely different. So just kind of put your attention there and we'll see what happens if that's okay. And if at any time, like I said, it becomes too much, that's fine as well.
Okay.
And what are you noticing?
My legs are shaking, but I think it's because I'm trying to like move the pressure.
Yeah, that's fine. So let's come back to that and let's just say that shaking feeling. Is there a movement that wants to come and emerge from you, or are you comfortable just sitting and allowing the shaking?
It's more like a chill. It's like I'm shivering, kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so let's track that for a little while, if that's okay.
Okay.
Is the shaking getting more intense, less intense, or the same?
It's the same.
Okay, so let's just stay with it a little longer, if that's okay.
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm okay. It's not as bad anymore.
Mm-hmm. What shifted?
I kind of just started focusing on my breathing more and it went away a little bit.
Yeah. The shaking went away, or the pressure went away, or both?
Both.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Is it gone completely, or are you still feeling some of it?
I still feel it a little bit, but it's mostly gone.
Okay. So let's come back to the room for just a moment. Either the picture of the Eiffel Tower, the clock, or if there's something else that has your attention.
Okay. She has another picture of the Eiffel Tower, I just noticed.
fan of France. Has your sister been to
Yeah,
France?
she must really like Paris. No.
And just feeling, again, the weight of your body, the weight of your pelvis resting on whatever you're sitting on. And let your eyes drift a little bit more, finding other things in the room that are drawing your attention. Maybe if there's something you didn't notice the first time that you were looking around.
She has my shirt in her closet. I can't really see far without my glasses, but
That's okay. The diffuse kind of blurry vision is fine too. It's actually kind of a gift because you get to kind of soften your gaze. The rest of us, I don't wear glasses, I never have. So the rest of us have to work at that, get that pinpointed gaze, but you just get to take off your glasses and you have it automatically.
yeah.
How's that pressure in your chest feeling right now?
It's gone.
And how is that shaking?
It's gone.
And how are you?
I'm okay.
You're okay? What does okay feel like?
Calm.
Yeah. You look very centered right now to me. Like you look really in yourself.
Yeah. I feel
That
like
feel
I
right?
could go take a nap. Yeah.
Yeah. So this isn't necessarily an answer to the question of like, should I be in my relationship? Should I not? Or any other life question like that. But what this can help is to put you in a state where, like Marisa was saying, you're now regulated and the world looks a lot less threatening when you're regulated. So now things can be a little bit clearer as to maybe what the next right step is. And like I said, I don't know the full story. Sometimes the next right step is I need to go take a nap right now, or I need to go and eat something that's going to make, give me energy and make me feel good, or I need to drink a glass of water, or I just need to go outside and go for a walk, or whatever the next right step is. But it sort of puts you back in figuring out what's right for you. What I have personally found and what I've observed in some of my clients as well is that the more time I spend in this regulated state, the more naturally I make choices that are in alignment with this regulated state. So it's like I said, it's not that easy answer of a yes, no, what you should do in any given situation, but it allows you to choose things that are in alignment with this state. How does that sound to you?
It sounds good. That makes sense.
I'll give you some tools that you can work with a little bit when you're feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Thank you.
All I have to say is I watched this and I saw her face change. I saw her smile. I saw her gaze change. I saw when she was anxious. And so I actually watched you take her out of, the state that she was in and bring her into a, the centered ventral vagal state. I watched it happen.
Yeah. Vision is very deeply connected with our nervous system. In fact, I had always known that the sclera over our eyes was connected to brain tissue, but I actually recently learned that your eyes are actually in development in the embryo. They're a part of your brain that is pushed forward so that it's external to your brain. So when we're working with our vision, we're directly calming those neural circuits.
Wow, Marianne says tearing up watching you relax. I also felt very emotional, like I wanted to, like I felt emotional when I saw it. You say it's gone. I felt emotional and wanted to cry, like too. Your whole face changes. Says praying all this time that you find peace and answers. Wow, it was just so moving to like watch you have a moment of peace where you didn't feel all that. I understand what you're going through. And to get that for the first time and to experience it. And is that called, Suki, is that called like a pendulation exercise? Is that what that's called?
Yeah, you could call it that. So a lot of what I just worked with Kayla there on comes from the somatic experiencing practice. And that is introducing those small bits of threat. So, I've just to kind of give like the, behind the curtain kind of view of what was going on. It was, when we first started talking, she was very activated. So I gave her some tools to get her centered. And then we introduced just a little bit, just a tiny drop of that stress again. And it brought some activation. And then we stayed with that for as long as her nervous system could do that discharge on its own. And then we sort of went out and resourced. So we went out and gave her those tools again to kind of pull herself back into that relaxation state. The more you do this, the more naturally your nervous system can do it on its own. So you don't necessarily have to actively go out and be like, hey, I need to calm you down, nervous system. But your nervous system can find its way there on its own.
I can attest to that, Kayla, because before I had to be like, okay, I have to do the exercise because I can't calm down, and I'd have to. And then there were times where I would be in that state that you're talking about for hours, all night long. And then now I experiencing the state that you're experiencing. Sometimes my nervous system will go into it naturally, which it wasn't ever able to do. So like, it was frustrating at first, feeling like, oh, I have to do this to put myself into the state. It might only last 30 seconds, but you eventually get more and more of those little times, which they call glimmers, I guess, of like good energy. And it really is a life changer, really. And I'm just learning about all this. So I just happened to come across Suki while being, totally, I don't know, defeated in the middle of the night. And there she was. And that's what happened. But Suki, tell us about your program. Tell us about what you can offer to those that are watching that really would like more of what you have to talk about. You have something coming up. You have a launch of your nerve program.
Yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So first of all, I always have my YouTube videos available on YouTube. So if you find me there, just search for Suki Baxter. It's youtube.com/Suki Baxter. And those are available anytime, 24/7, as you found, Marissa. And I also have my program that is a 12-week nervous system rewiring program. And what I've done is I've taken a lot of the info and a lot of the tools that I've learned in traveling and working with people spanning all kinds of different types of healing modalities, and integrated them into a combination of mind body coaching and nervous system neuroplasticity type exercises, just like we did this evening, to help you to perform what I call affectionately nervous system hygiene, which is like, we know how to eat well, we know how to exercise, but our nervous system needs some help to get in shape so that it can be in this nice regulated state, and also so that we can build our own capacity, build the nervous system muscle, so to speak, to handle stressful impetus so that we don't get knocked off center quite so far and quite so easily with small triggers. So it kind of makes those triggers less effective. Like I said, it's a 12-week program, and we start, at step 1, and then week 1 builds what we do in week 2 and week 3, so that we're layering these practices on top of each other. And at the end of 12 weeks, you have these tools and you have these skills available so that you can do this for yourself on a regular basis to keep yourself feeling regulated and feeling joyful and feeling connected and present in your life. And so that you can have the kind of life that you want to have, because that's really what we all want, right? Is to have the life we dream of having and feel the way we dream of feeling, and that's what I aim to give people through this program.
Awesome. When does it start?
So we're kicking off the first week in January, and I saw that you put the link there. So if anyone is interested in enrolling in this program, I am taking applications now. I'm talking to everybody before they come in so that I can make sure that it's a good fit for everyone. If it's not, I'll try to point you in the right direction, but you can find the application and set up a time to talk at wholebodyrevolution.com/apply.
Oh my God, Suki, I'm so glad I randomly found you. But like I said, the universe there's no coincidences. And I was praying for a miracle, and you are one in my life and in Kayla's life today, and anybody who's watching. So I could just vouch for everything that you stand for. So it's something I didn't even know existed for most of my life.
Thank you. I'm so glad you found me, and I'm so glad to be here this evening.
Awesome. Well, Kayla, I hope that you found a little bit of those tools. Plus, you had the reading last week. Just sit with it. You know, you don't have to make any decisions right now. Sit with it, and you know, you have all these resources now, and let it just process in your body. There's no rush, you know, to do anything or to take action. I wanted to ask you, Suki, just for my own knowledge, was Kayla in dorsal or in sympathetic when she was sitting there?
I saw, what I observed was more sympathetic activation.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that there wasn't activation in dorsal as well.
Okay, so can you be in both? Can you be like in dorsal and in sympathetic at the same time?
Yes, you can. And that's really, really common to have that sort of mix going on. And if you know people, or if you've ever felt this yourself, who are explosive, where, you know, like things are fine and then it's like, blah, all of a sudden, that is usually sympathetic. That it's like a pressure cooker. So you get the sympathetic boiling up, and then the dorsal vagal puts a cap on it. But that sympathetic is still pushing up against it. And so that cap comes off and it kind of explodes everywhere.
I've been there.
Me too.
Yeah. I'm not, you know, so how do we stop that pressure from building so that these triggers aren't so crazy? Like, how do you stop that? How do you stop the pressure?
Through these practices, through self-regulation, through bringing yourself into these regulated states, through creating what's called a felt sense of safety. So, like, a lot of what we did there was helping Kayla's nervous system to feel safe through orienting to her environment, through getting present in the present moment. Because your body, you know, you can't have a conversation with these parts of your biology. They're too old. They predate human speech. They're 400, 500 million years old in terms of evolution. So you can't rationally talk to them and say, hey, you're safe. So we do it through sensation. We do it through vision. We do it through, Kayla herself did it through breath. You know, she's very smart that she was like, oh, if I go to my breath, then that automatically discharges some stress. So there are ways that we can do that from a biological standpoint, rather than trying to like repeat, you know, words over and over, like, no, I'm totally safe. I'm totally fine.
Wow, that's so interesting. I mean, I could talk to you for hours. I'm sure all of us can. So we really appreciate you coming on. We went a little bit over. Sorry, guys, if we kept you on too long, but I couldn't stop the process. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. Suki Baxter, thank you so much.
Thank you,
She's
Suki.
currently enrolling for her nerve program. Go to wholebodyrevolution.com/apply and get on, you know, her January calendar. Because I'm even going to look into that, Suki.
Me too.
That's very interesting. You could have all the mediums in your class.
Yes.
That would be amazing. That would be fun.
All of us who experience energy at like 200
speed.
times, what most people, and we take on everybody else's energy. So my nervous system could be regulated, and I come into contact with somebody whose nervous system is not regulated, and then it throws me off balance. I need to learn how to not feel that.
The strongest nervous system wins.
Oh, jeez.
That's
Well, I
not
have people
good.
with strong nervous systems all around me, so I gotta figure that out. So, Kayla, I have a little gift for you tonight. You know about my energy bracelet, right?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
What's your wrist size? Are you small wrist? Do you know what your wrist size is?
I don't know.
Big?
Small, I guess.
Are you like small
Small.
bone, do you think?
Yeah, I have tiny, skinny wrists.
Yeah, I had a feeling. This was the one I picked out for you because it's hot pink and turquoise, and I feel you need a little bit of color in your life. This represents your intuition here, because I feel you have a lot of it. Okay, and this pink here is the activation of that intuition. Okay, so this is your blend and your this is going to take you to like that higher level. So send me your wrist size to info@connectionbeyond.com. And I just want to make sure, but this is the one I intuitively picked for you. And send me your address and I'll get that out to you so that you can
Thank you.
go into the 5D and be activated. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, oh my God. This show is just, sometimes we're all crazy and everything's nuts.
Right.
Sometimes we're all serious. You're having me want to cry because I see you getting the relief that I know what that feels like to feel like you feel. I know it. And I know that first time when you're like, it's gone, I feel calm. Most people don't think that's a big deal. For people like you and me, that's a miracle when it happens.
Yeah.
And you're just, you know what I mean? It's like we don't feel like we deserve it almost. Like we feel like we need to, you know, push, go. Like we don't deserve to feel this way. And I am so happy you got, this is like the best Christmas gift for you you could ever experience. So people don't want this to end. Yay, Kayla. Wear it all the time. Lisa says wear it because she got one of these. Wear it all the time. It really works.
Definitely
it will bring
wear
you
it.
what you need.
I will.
Elise has one.
That could be why I'm not in like my crazy mood.
You put the bracelet on.
I didn't put it on.
I know.
You have to wear it, Kayla.
I will.
All right, well,
Always.
Okay.
a
Good.
great way to get into ventral vagal, as far as what I've read, Suki, is by bringing music into the room. Is that true?
I think so.
All right. Well, let's
Certainly
bring
is
on
now.
April, May, and Catfish. And let me bring them onto the screen here.
That was so beautiful. Thank you.
Yes, that was wonderful. Fantastic.
I know. Dave looks a little emotional
Send
right
you
now.
all
I
many
know.
blessings.
Many
It's
blessings.
beautiful work you're doing, Suki, and we loved seeing
That was-
the peace come. So we send you blessings for more of that.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you for what you do.
All right. We're ready for you guys. You guys going to take us out?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm going to feature Dave again. And this is something he's been working on that wants to share. And it's not original, but it's really beautiful.
All right.
Soothing, you know. It's fitting your time here. This is for you, Kayla. It's good to see you. And for everybody.
You too.
was beautiful. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you. It's one of my favorite songs.
I love how he does that.
Oh, well, thanks everybody for being here. Just want to bring all of you up front real quick. April, May, and the June bugs. Just remember, they've got their cleanup bundle. 5 autographed CDs, 2 bars of beer soap, or 2 cans of beer soap is what I'm saying. 45 and free shipping, aprilmay.com. We have Miss Suki Baxter. She is enrolling for her nerve program. Go to wholebodyrevolution.com and apply, because all of the mediums are going to be taking up that class if you don't get in soon. So you better do it. Miss Elise Satellaro.
It was a pleasure tonight.
Book a holiday
As
reading
always.
with Elise. Simply email emstat@yahoo.com. Write it down. Take a picture of it. Take a screenshot. She'll give you a reading. She'll make you feel better. Go and see Suki. She'll help you be calm. And then last but not least, you guys know it's coming up. Manifesting with Marissa, the 30-day Dream Driver program. I might not know how to calm you down out of your nervous system, but I will know how to launch you up. So it's coming real soon. Make sure that you get on to the email list, which I'm going to put right here. Join the list. I put it in the comments. Make sure you get your email on there. We're going to have an open and closed enrollment real soon. It is starting in January. And you know what? This is what I have to say. If you really want to transcend to that next 5D, I think you need us all. Really. I think that you need Dave and April's beer soap. Plus you need autographed CDs. You need to go see Suki for the 12-week program just so you can get your mind right and be in the present and go into 2021 into your vagal calm state so you can make better decisions. You need to be like Kayla, because she's going to do it too. You need to see Elise for a holiday reading to see what's coming up to ease your anxiety. That always works for me. And you need to come to the 30-day Dream Driver program, which starts in January. So I hope you guys all get with all of us, because I know I'm doing it. I hope you guys all do it too. Thanks so much for coming. We all really love you. And we will see you next week for the lounge. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Good night.
Everybody say good night.
Good night.